we're at Occupy Halfway. Just want to show you the signs. And the good people who came out today. Are, on the loudest day in Halfway. Mike, you want to get in there?
I think that Wall Street has, the money people have taken over all the governments, not just ours, but all of them. And we're about to lose our Social Security, our Medicare, our Medicaid, because they stole the money. Not one Wall Streeter has went to prison for all the fraud that went on. I don't like that.
So, what's your name first?
Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl. Can you tell me why you're here at Occupy Halfway?
Well, even though this is a very rural town, it's we're still part of the 99%. And I would like the rest of the world, bigger places, to know that even in rural populations, we have concerns about what goes on in our government and how untransparent it is and how big money can take over, is taking over, has taken over. And we were promised transparency in 2008, and I don't think we're getting it.
Good.
So that's why I'm here.
And what's shifting in the country?
Well, I think more people are waking up to the idea that a lot of people are dissatisfied. And if we stay quiet, it will go on business as usual.
Right.
If we all stand up and say, this isn't the way it needs to be, we can make a new reality where money isn't controlling everything and all of our politicians aren't bought and paid for by the same people, no matter which party they're in.
Right.
And the wealthy do pay their fair share of taxes. Not necessarily that they don't have a high enough tax rate, it's just that there are so many loopholes that are available to them that their taxable income gets reduced. I used to be a licensed tax preparer. I have some knowledge of this.
Right. Excellent.
Anyway.
And are you feeling optimistic or pessimistic these days?
Boy, when I read the news, I really am not optimistic. I think if the Occupy movements continue and the people's voices are really heard, things will change. But we have to say what we want with our votes.
Right.
We can't just stand here on the street corner in little tiny Halfway, Oregon, and say, I don't like it. We have to educate ourselves on the issues. We have to vote according to how each politician stands on the issues that we think are important. So whether people will do that and whether the momentum will keep going, I don't know. I hope so, because I don't like the way it is now.
Fantastic, thank you.
All right.
Whatever it takes.
Okay, can you tell me your name?
Bill Barsky.
And why'd you come out to Occupy Halfway today?
Well, I'd like to get this movement to stay in people's minds
You know, there's obviously a lot wrong. 9% of the country thinks that Congress is doing a good job. Well, that's pretty significant. I think the reason they don't think they're doing a good job is they realize their vote doesn't count, and that the corporations really rule things. Big money is rampant. The Supreme Court has approved corporations spending unlimited amounts of money to buy elections without having to disclose who they gave the money to. So, a little problem here.
Excellent. What do you think about the Occupy movement as a whole?
I think it's the only breath of fresh air I've seen in years where the majority of people finally has a possible outlet for their complaints.
Excellent. And are you feeling optimistic or pessimistic these days?
Well, I'm feeling optimistic from this movement, but I realize the odds are slim due to the fact that the corporations are gigantic and aren't going to let go of those profits easily.
Gotcha. Anything else you want to add? First name?
My name is Penny Sabin.
And why are you here, Penny?
I'm here because of the great call of sadness and inequality that is happening in our country.
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of it has to do with war, but a lot of it has to do with greed.
Uh-huh.
And there's a chance that we can affect something.
Where did that chance come from?
Well, it started with the whole Wall Street thing.
Uh-huh.
That's our only chance so far. But I think it can amalgamate into something. I think we need a big, San Francisco, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, Washington, D.C.
So what is your name?
My name is Melanie Allerdale, and I came to Pine Valley in 1977. I lived here till 92. I left for a while, and now I'm back. I'm called a retread.
Good. And why did you come to Occupy Halfway today?
Well, I'm just so thrilled at finally being able to express the things that are important to me. Not just my frustration, but also my hope for the future. And I loved the format that we came up with. We made signs and we walked just talking among ourselves, but we made a visibility. We were able to put a face to Occupy Wall Street and some messages, and I think it's really important.
Uh-huh. And how do you feel about the Occupy movement? Once again. How do you feel about the Occupy movement in general and what's been going on across the country?
Well, I'm for the most part thrilled about the Occupy movement, especially the latest piece that I just read that talked about Tea Party and Occupy people getting together to find common ground, because no matter what we disagree about, we agree that we want the corruption out of government, and I think that Occupy is doing that. The police brutality saddens me. I've been tear gassed, I've seen people's skulls split open, so I try not to pay much attention to that. I also believe, like a Christian friend said to me when I was complaining about hypocritical Christians, well, there's all kinds of Christians, you know. Well, there's all kinds of people on Wall Street too, and some of them are throwing bricks, and I'm not happy about that, but on the whole, I am thrilled, and I'm so inspired by the young people and the things that they learned from my generation about communicating and organizing and group process. It's fabulous.
Exciting. And okay, how are you feeling generally about the country? Optimistic, pessimistic?
I feel optimistic. It's the best way to feel. And you never know, I might be right.
That's excellent. Thank you very much, Melanie.
Thank you, Liz.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Eileen Monty.
And can you tell us why you're at Occupy Halfway today?
Yes, well, I work at the school district, and I'm very aware of what is happening to our education system because we keep cutting and cutting.
I'm so sorry. Okay.
I work at the school, and I'm very aware of what happens when we keep cutting and cutting back the money that we put into the services that the people need. We keep trying to use equipment longer and older, and we're trying to prepare our children for the coming generation to run the country, to even be employable. And I think people forget that if we can't at least produce employable students, then who's going to pay all the taxes the middle class is paying now? I believe a little bit of taxes from the rich would help. Now, I know that's kind of a general statement, but when you look at, I keep waiting for the trickle down to come from President Reagan promised. I haven't seen it. It's fine to say that if you give someone money, they will invest in business and create jobs. And some people do, but it tends to be smaller businesses. The large businesses are international. They put money offshore. I recently spent 10 months just trying to refinance my house after a divorce, and it's basically the banks have gone from giving away money at no interest and causing the problem that we, the taxpayers, had to bail them out of, and now they've tightened up really heavily. It took me 10 months, I finally got it, and it was basically for a very small amount left on my mortgage, but had that not happened, I would have lost my home, and I've never missed a payment in all my life. I've always worked, I've always paid taxes, and now I'm scrambling as I look at retirement, and that just doesn't seem right, and I figure if I am, people who are really hurting are really having a hard time. So I think we need to look at the distribution of wealth. If we can't keep our middle class healthy, then we aren't going to have people to work and to pay taxes.
Hi, what's your name?
Marvin Combs.
And why are you here, Marvin?
Well, because I'm American. I'm glad to be American, and I'm glad to be a halfway-nite.
Fantastic. Anything else?
Beautiful day.
Absolutely.
Nice little crowd.
Great, thank you, Marvin.
You're welcome.
And I'll ask your name first. Hi, we're here with, what's your name?
Deanna.
Hi, Deanna. So why'd you come out today?
Well, it was particularly inspiring because it's Veterans Day, and I do know a lot of men and women who've served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I thought, what a better way to combine two things that are really close to my heart right now than to come out today.
Fantastic. And what do you think about the Occupy movement in general?
I almost don't know what to think about it. I don't know that I've ever been a pessimist per se, but I've always kind of thought that exciting, monumental stuff like this was behind me. It was a generation behind me, and that we were going to sit in front of our computers and our iPods for the rest of our lives, and that my son's generation might be the one to pick things up and say, stop.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. And in general, are you feeling optimistic or pessimistic these days, given what's going on?
I would say more optimistic than I'm usually inclined to be. I have to be. I have a 3.5-year-old,
Oh, wow.
and he has so much to look forward to. I don't want to have to look at him in the face 20 years from now and say, I stood in the way. I wanted to make a way.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much.